What's up everyone, MeJP2 here, and in today's video I decided I was going to max an Obstagoon because there's quite a few Psychic types in the Mastery League right now, and I decided it would probably be pretty fun to destroy them with basically the hardest wall in existence. Now Obstagoon especially walls Mewtwo because Shadow Ball is triple resisted, so it does less than Psystrike, which is hilarious in my opinion. So because of that, I think Obstagoon is probably the hardest walled Mewtwo in existence, provided they're on double legacy. Anyways, that's pretty much it, so let's get to the battles. Alright, so into the first battle, and we lead Obstagoon into Melmetal. This is, unfortunately, a more neutral lead than it seems like it should be, because Melmetal learns Dazzling Gleam. Opponent catches the Night Slash on the Gyarados, though, which is kind of unfortunate, but with that chip, it does mean that Dragonite should be able to comfortably maintain switch advantage, even if they get a crunch defense debuff. I believe in just a straight-up even matchup, where both are at like full HP and 0 energy, or whatever. If Gyarados gets a crunch debuff, they can just take switch. They do end up baiting with an Aqua Tail, unfortunately, but I think they shielded a move already, so it's still shield parity. They then proceed to shield the next Dragon Claw, and I'm pretty sure Dragonite tanks an Aqua Tail. Dragonite tanks the Aqua Tail and gets the farm down, so now we're up shield and up switch. They send in Meloetta. I'm just going to send in Necrozma because it should be a lot easier for Necrozma to wall them. Now, whatever move they have should be resisted unless they're running Thunderbolt, which they are, which is unfortunate because that hits for a decent amount of damage. I will shield because I'm not entirely sure about counts, and they end up baiting with the Side Shock. Wonderful. Regardless, we're able to go for a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse will hit for a lot of damage, and we just get one Shadow Claw to farm down. They have their own Necrozma, so we're obviously just going to send an Obstagoon, because I wanted to see how this thing would do. Now, Night Slash hits for a decent amount of damage, honestly. And now, the opponent's going to go for a move. This is a real test. Can this thing tank a Sunsteel? And it actually does. That's nuts. I thought that did a lot more damage than Obstagoon took, so maybe they undercharged it or something, but we're able to get the Night Slash off, get the farm down, and take that game. We see, amazingly in the next battle, we see a Bite Tyranitar. So we're hitting for double super effective with counters and cross chops. Cross chop still not going to do too much because it does not get same type attack bonus, but Obstagoon just gets a full farm down. They then send in Kyogre, and we're just going to be able to go for Night Slash after Night Slash. Obstagoon is not going to hit too hard though, just because it's not even 3000 combat power, even though it is very close. But Night Slash is going to get them into the yellow, and they're going to have to throw another move, because otherwise we do make another Night Slash. Surf takes us out, and we can send in Dragonite. This is a dominant matchup for Dragonite, because even if they have Thunder does not one-shot. Blizzard one-shots, but if they farm up like 9 Waterfalls, I'm just shielding. I don't even think they'd get to 9 Waterfalls anyways, though. They're going to go for a Surf, and they wasted a shield there because that Surf was basically inconsequential, especially since they have a Pokemon with very little fast move pressure in the back anyways. If they had like a fast move beatdown Pokemon that only needed like 1 shield, then I'd understand the shield usage just for extra damage. But when you have a Mewtwo, that shield was not worth it. Now they're going to be shielding the Dark Pulse, and at this point I decide I kind of want a 2-shield flex, so this is kind of calling a bait, but they don't bait. Necrozma gets taken out, unfortunately, but Dragonite still is going to be able to take this game. I was considering going for a superpower here, but I decided against it. Just gonna take the safe route, take him out with a Dragon Claw, and take the game. We see Dialga on the lead in the next battle. Now Obstagoon has 2 super effective moves in counter and cross chop, but Dialga has about a 1500 combat power advantage here, so Obstagoon is not in the best spot. They then pivot into Togekiss, and Togekiss is just going to get wrecked by Necrozma. Now, they farmed up to 7 here. This is an Aerial Ace. There's no way I'm shielding that. Now, I'm going to be able to go for Sunsteel Strike. Togekiss is never tanking this. They're probably not going to shield it anyways because they're down a shield, so Sunsteel annihilates them, and then they send in Kyogre. Now, I'm going to be able to go for a Dark Pulse, and I should be able to make it to a second Dark Pulse if they just go for a full farm down. I'm really hoping they go for the full farm down because their energy is not going to be useful in a Dragonite anyways, and I'm going to go for Sunsteel. Sunsteel, while resisted, is not as efficient in terms of energy, I think, but if you only make 1 move, it does more damage. So now I'm going to send in Dragonite. If they have Blizzard, props to them, you gave my Obstagoon farm. They go for a Hydro Pump of all things. Just use Origin Pulse, it's better. But now they send in Dialga, and Obstagoon is not going to get Dragon Breath farmed down. Obstagoon isn't that glassy, and so I'm going to be able to make it to a cross chop. I am getting very low here, and an Iron Head would take me out. They actually go for a Thunder. Don't know why. But now I will be able to make it to a cross chop. Cross chop will take them out, or at least come very close. It does take them out, and we do take that game. We lead Obstagoon into Melmetal in the next battle. This is a matchup that I was really curious about, because Obstagoon will take massive damage from Superpower, but I don't think one KOs. It comes very close, but Obstagoon actually does tank it, and now we're going to be able to get off Cross Chop while they're debuffed. Now, I'm going to be able to make it to another Cross Chop, but I'm actually going to go for a Night Slash here. I was just thinking they might shield, and Night Slash probably KOs anyways, but they just go for Superpower again, and now I'm just going to send in Necrozma. They pivot into Armored Mewtwo. I've never seen this thing in the Master League before. I've just thought about that. I've seen it in the Ultra League plenty of times, and it can be a pain, but I've never seen it in the Master League. Regardless, the thing's getting absolutely annihilated by Necrozma. So, Dark Pulse gets him really low, we farm him down, and Armored Mewtwo goes down. They then send in Melmetal, and Melmetal will make it to a Superpower. I decided to shield just to preserve HP. I don't know what they have in the back. In the back, it's a Necrozma of their own. So even though I'm down a shield, I'm quite literally at 100 energy. I have 2 Dark Pulses to fire into them, and I'll be able to shield theirs and make it to another Dark Pulse of my own before they make it to their own. That might not have made much sense, but basically I can shield their Dark Pulse and I'll still be able to make it to another Dark Pulse before they make it to their own. So I actually overfarm a bit more just to make sure the Dark Pulse KOs, because I knew for a fact that even if I played a CMP, their Necrozma is underleveled, and also mine is 15 attack, so it'll just take them out, and we take that game. We see Mewtwo on the lead in the next battle. Absolutely dominant matchup here. Mewtwo cannot beat Obstagoon. This is hilarious to watch. They Side Strike, it does virtually nothing. Now I can go for a super effective Night Slash. Night Slash going to hit for not too much damage, honestly, but whatever. Now they send in Melmetal, and I'm going to be able to catch the move on into Necrozma. If they superpowered, they've debuffed themselves immediately, but they actually Rock Slide bait. Now that's interesting. They're going to farm up a ton, and now I'm going to no shield. It actually is a superpower, and now I'm going to go for a Sunsteel, because I think this might KO. After the debuff, it's got a chance. They shield it though, and that's kind of unfortunate. Now I'm going to be able to commit to shield, and so they can go for a Rock Slide bait if they want, but I will make it to a Dark Pulse before they're able to make it to another superpower. It's actually CMP. Now Dark Pulse takes them out, and they then send in Groudon. Now I'm just going straight Dark Pulse because I don't want them to make it to a Fire Punch and deny the energy. So we go for the Dark Pulse, and they actually shield it. I was not expecting that. They then throw Energy, which I was also not expecting at all. Fire Punch will take me out, probably still, even if they fully undercharge it. And now we have Dragonite. Yeah, Groudon is not going to be able to do much here. They go for Precipice Blades, and they try to catch and move onto Mewtwo. Not exactly sure why, because I think Groudon's the bulkier one. But I'm going to be able to go for a Night Slash. Night Slash hits for some okay damage. And now they're going to go for a move. If this is a Focus Blast, it's going to take me out. But it's a Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does nothing. We get a full farm down. And now they can send in Groudon, but I have so many Night Slashes. I'll be able to go for a Night Slash number 1, getting them fairly low. And they'll be able to go for another one. The opponent, it seems they were probably stopped tapping. They might just be lagging, but they stopped tapping. Game's over. They know it. They just stop tapping. And we do take that game. We see Kyogre in the next battle. Now, Obstagoon is pretty bad if it does not have a type advantage, just because of the fact that its stats are not the best. It's like Obstagoon, you run it specifically to target stuff. You don't run it as just like an all-around good Pokemon. Now, they're going to go for Surf. Surf hits for some okay damage, and now I'm going to be able to go for a Night Slash. Now, Night Slash is probably not going to hit for too much. We get them pretty low, and we actually get a boost, but the boost appears to be inconsequential because there's going to be a full farm down. It's actually probably worse because it gets less farm for Dragonite. They pivot Dialga, and I'm just going to send in Necrozma. Now, Necrozma doesn't be able to go for a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse actually does get shielded. The shield animation didn't play because it sometimes doesn't on CMP. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but it does. And now, I'm going to be able to go for another Dark Pulse. Now, Dark Pulse should get them pretty low because this is the Glassy Dialga. The opponent actually shielded it. This is a massive giveaway that whatever they have in the back does not want to see a Necrozma. So I'm going to shield, I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse. They actually did a very nice catch on a Kyogre. Now, I'm fine with this. I just want Kyogre gone. And they send in the Dialga. I'm just going to pivot into Dragonite. and get a bunch of energy. In the back, they have Metagross, and I actually get the perfect amount of farm that I can throw in the middle of their final bullet punch, and I'll win CMP on the superpower. So that superpower hits for a lot. I think that Metagross is slightly under-leveled. Superpower shouldn't hit for that much. But now I can go for superpower. Second one takes him out, and we are able to take that game. We lead Obstagoon and the Mamoswine in the next battle. Pretty good lead for us, as we're going to be able to go for Cross Chop, which is super effective. Then again, Obstagoon is not the most attack weighted, so Cross Chop, while still hitting for quite a lot, is not going to do as much as it would coming from like a Shadow Machamp or whatever. Now they go for an Avalanche, and they're going to get fully farmed down. Now, Obstagoon leaves with a bunch of energy, and they send in Annihilate. Yeah, Annihilate is going to destroy Obstagoon, but we get a Night Slash off, which is nice. That is a little bit of chip damage. That means that Dragonite should have an easier time against the Annihilate. Now, they farmed up a lot. Shadow Ball does not take me out. They actually bait with a Night Slash, though. They send an Aggron and get a catch of the Smackdown. Sorry, of the Dragon Claw, which is annoying. But we have Necrozma, and the opponent just quits on the spot upon seeing it because they're hard-walled. And we take the game. We see Solgaleo on the lead in the next battle. Now, on paper, like type effectiveness, this looks very good, but once you look at stats, it's actually still probably slanted towards Solgaleo. The opponent shields the first Night Slash. Public service announcement, do not shield the first Night Slash, because if you get the boost, if your opponent gets the boost on the first one, the next one's going to do a lot more, so just never shield the first one. Now, we're going to go for another one. Opponent shields that one too. And now we're going to be able to go for a Night Slash. Like another one. Now, Night Slash is going to be able to get them fairly low. They then send in Gyarados, and they're down 2 shields, so basically Necrozma just annihilates them. Now, they're going to go for a move. They actually do full send the Crunch, and because of that, that's a very nice shield. No debuff, which is great, and I'll be able to go for a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse will not take them out. I know this, but I should get a farm down. Now, I am going to be able to shield the next one. This is another Crunch, which is good. Get the Defense Drop, which is not good, but what can you do? It is what it is. And they then send in a Garchomp. Garchomp is not going to appreciate a Sunsteel Strike. There really isn't anything in the meta that will, because there's basically nothing that double resists Steel, because that's the only real way to negate the damage. Like, even Zygarde doesn't like to tank it. They send in Garchomp, they try to farm down the Obstagoon, and Obstagoon does not get farmed down, and they lose the match because of that, basically. Ooh, a Shadow Mewtwo lead. Obstagoon is feasting tonight. Or the game can just not work as intended. This is really annoying. I have no idea how much energy they're at right now, so if this is a Focus Blast, I'm going to be mad. But they go for a Side Strike. So now I should be able to have 2 Night Slashes. They'll win CMP against me on the next one if they choose to go for a Side Strike, as long as my counts were right. But they actually shield the next Night Slash. I got a boost on the first one, which is very cool. And I still don't have to shield. They Shadow Ball me. All Mewtwo's try this, basically. And they can go for another Side Strike. Guess what does not take me out? Another Side Strike. They then send in a Dialga, and they're going to get hit with a boosted Cross Chop. Now, still not going to do much, because Obstagoon is not very attack weighted, but it gets them into a range where a Dark Pulse should be able to take them out. So I will be going for this Dark Pulse. This should take them out. They actually shield, though. Now, this is a pretty big giveaway. They're going for a big move, so I'm going to shield. Looks like they did not get Roar of Time from the event, so they're on Draco. That's unfortunate for them, but because of that, I just get a full farm down because their attack's debuffed. If their attack was not debuffed, I would have gone for a move to just preserve a bit more HP, but once they're debuffed, there's like nothing. Now, I Sunsteel Strike the Mewtwo. I did not check what was coming in, and then they send in a Dawn Wings Necrozma. I should have immediately sent in Obstagoon, but Obstagoon is way too low, but they can't Shadow Claw farm me down. Shadow Claw is triple resisted, so they can go for a Shadow Claw farm down. They're not going to get it, and Obstagoon just takes them out. See another Melmetal lead. This is like 1800 elo, by the way, if you guys did not pay attention to that in like the thing before the battle starts. Because I've been tanking a lot, because when Fossil Cup was out for that one day with Go Battle Day, I couldn't battle later in the day because I had stuff to do. So I basically just had to run through all my sets in Fossil Cup, so I ran a triple Shadow Team and lost like 80% of the battles. So that's why my elo got so low. But regardless, in this battle, the opponent is shielding Cross Drops, and we're shielding Rock Slides. Now, I did no-shield the first move, and now they're shielding another cross-drop, and we're going to lose CMP here. Now, I'm no-shielding. I'm pretty sure they're going for a Rock Slide, and they do. This cross-drop still shouldn't take them out because their defense isn't debuffed, so they can just no-shield it. And now, if I want to take Switch, I can. I'm just going to shield. I will be able to get a farm down. I don't throw a move because I know I lose CMP, but I get a farm down, and now they come in with Mewtwo. Mewtwo still probably has trouble farming down Obstagoon. Like, let's be real, it's double resisted and it's a low damage move. We're going to be able to go for double Night Slashes, which hits decently hard into the Mewtwo. And they get a nice farm down, which is unfortunate. Now, I have nothing that wants to tank the energy, so I'm going to catch the Shadow Ball. They're definitely Shadow Balling here because there's no shields. They Shadow Ball, and they get farm down before they make it to another move. They have Ho-Oh in the back, so this game still technically isn't over. Because if they farm up to 100 and then just Brave Bird me, then they're going to be able to win. They don't farm up to 100, this is probably the 1800 elo coming into play. They just Brave Bird me. And now Necrozma is going to be able to make it to a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse will 100% take them out after the defense debuff, so Dark Pulse takes out the low HP Ho, and we take that game. Another Mewtwo lead. This is a very rare occurrence. You very rarely see Mewtwo leads in the Master League. This is something very uncommon, isn't it? Regardless, Obstagoon is going to destroy this thing. So we're going to be able to go for a Night Slash. Opponent lets it go, probably no shield in the first one. And now if I had gotten a boost, the second one would KO. This shouldn't KO, but it'll get him into counter farm down range, I think. So they do no shield it, and let's see if another Mewtwo goes for the Shadow Ball tactic. Yep. Predictable. Now, Obstagoon's still at over half HP. It's not after one counter from this Annihilate, though. Now, they shield, and I immediately send in Dragonite, because Necrozma still does very well into Annihilate. So, I'm just going to send in Dragonite. They respond with Melmetal. They're going to go for a Rock Slide. Now, I was hoping I could make it to a Dragon Claw plus a Superpower, but I accidentally played a CMP, and I'm actually a turn off. They no-shield the Dragon Claw, and I'm still one Dragon Breath off, so one turn off of it. I'm going to farm up a bit more, and I could have baited here, but I decided against it. Now I'm just going to go for the Superpower. They shield it, I get my shield advantage, and now I'm just going to let this go. Rock Slide takes me out, but they have to go for Superpower to take out Obstagoon. They then pivot into Annihilate, though, and well, I'm going to shield here, so this is a Shadow Ball. I think I lose in the spot. It is a Shadow Ball, so I'm very glad I shielded. Now I'm going to be able to go for Sunsteel. Even Annihilate, which is okay bulk in the Master League, still does not want to take this Sunsteel. They could send in Melmetal, but the game is over. They know that, and they concede. We see another Melmetal lead. It's just Melmetal and Mewtwo in the low 1800s. This is kind of boring at this point. But we're going to be able to no-shield a double Iron Bash, actually. That's one of the first times I've seen a Melmetal running double Iron Bash in a while. Now I'm going to be able to go for a cross drop. The opponent shields it. Wasn't expecting that. I'm going to go for another cross drop. Now, opponent shields it again. If they'd seen how little damage it does, they probably would have no-shielded the second one. But when you can't tell how much damage it would have done, I understand why they shield the cross drop. It's super effective. Hey, go for a Superpower into my Obstagoon, which takes it out. And now they're going to go for another Superpower into my Necrozma. Now, I'm just farming up as much as possible. I'm going to shield just to preserve some HP and some up 2 shields, so I can farm up quite a lot. Now, I should have just thrown my Dark Pulse. I decided to go for a full farm down, though, which is kind of stupid in hindsight. And the opponent then sends in Kyogre. Now, Kyogre is going to have to eat a Dark Pulse, and I'm going to farm up a bit more, just get back to a Sunsteel. And now I'm going to send in Dragonite. Kyogre cannot take out Dragonite unless they're on Blizzard, so there's no reason to shield. They hit me with a Thunder. Thunder does some respectable damage, but I'm still able to just farm down. They have Mewtwo in the back, and they have to throw a Side Strike to take me out. I don't think they can ever Psycho Cut farm me down before I make another Dragon Claw after this one. So I'm going to be able to go for the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw will hit for some very nice damage, and they have to throw a Side Strike. So they're going to do that. Side Strike is going to take out Dragonite, but Necrozma is just going to be able to farm down. They switch into Melmetal, but I can't see because the game is not working as intended, but thankfully just farm down the Melmetal, Sunsteel Strike from Mewtwo, and we are able to still take that game. This is another Melmetal lead. This is so rare. It's so uncommon you see a Melmetal lead. I know it just says that about Mewtwo leads, but whatever. Now they superpower me. This is, I think, a maxed out Melmetal, so that superpower hits a bit harder. Now they actually might be able to farm me down here. They're not though. I make it to a cross chop. Obstagoon's just a very tanky Pokemon, I guess. And we're able to pull a shield from him because of that. Now that's the best outcome because I get energy on Necrozma, which nothing likes to tank, and I just get a farm down and a shield advantage. So this Necrozma energy is going to be so hard for anything to punish. So I am going to be able to get a full farm down, and they then send in Annihilate. Now I should have baited, they're probably going to shield. I straight Sunsteel, and they shield. Unfortunate, but they then send in Togekiss. Trainer, don't send Togekiss into a Sunsteel strike. Goodbye, Togekiss. Anyways, you send in Dragonite, and Annihilate is done. There is nothing they can do. I'm gonna no-shield here. They Shadow Ball me, still doesn't take me out. I just can see the match. Alright, hopping into the final battle, and we lead Obstagoon into a Mamoswine. Now, we're going to actually see them switch into a Kyogre. Kyogre is not a safe switch in the Master League. It's basically one Dragon type, and Kyogre just loses on the spot to it. Now, Dragon Flying is a bit easier for Kyogre because Cylinder hits pretty hard, but it's still going to be really difficult for the opponent to fight for Switch, so Dragon Claw hits for some nice damage, and then they proceed to get taken out by the Dragon Breath. They then send in Mewtwo, and they're actually on Confusion. You don't see a lot of Confusion Mewtwo in the Master League, because most of Mewtwo's damage comes from Psystrike, so getting to Psystrike faster is good. Now, they are going to be walled by Obstagoon, though, which is nice. So I'm going to be able to go for Night Slash. Night Slash will actually pull a shield. Not entirely sure why, because they have nothing to throw into Obstagoon, basically. I'm corrected, they have a Flamethrower. Now, it's not going to do too much anyways, though. So they're going to get farmed down by the Obstagoon, and now they have a Mamoswine. Now, Mamoswine is down 2 shields, and I have a Necrozma. So this game is 100% over. They even throw a move into the Obstagoon. They could have just farmed me down. But yeah, Necrozma just destroys this Mamoswine. They can go for a move here. I'm going to shield just to ensure that I win, though, because I don't want to get hit with some surprise bulldoze or whatever and taken out, even though I don't think it would take me out. But we farm down the Mamoswine, and we take that game. The main reason I chose to use Obstagoon in the Master League was because a while back, some commenter dropped a entire essay in the comment section about why Obstagoon is good in the Master League, and I was thinking about what I should run today, and I decided, I should power up an Obstagoon. I actually had enough Stardust. It's one of the few times where I've actually gone over 1 million Stardust, so I decided to spend about 400,000 of it on this thing, because it seemed like it would be fun, and it certainly was. So I'm very glad I ran this thing. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.